I'm upsetting the birds again. Oh, I can't tell you how much more interesting the trail is today compared to yesterday. And in all fairness, I enjoyed yesterday, but there was a lot of riding on access roads around the alumina mine site, bauxite mine site, and a real mix of sort of pretty average terrains, but this is just beautiful. It's back to the best. Okay, April to November last year. Let's hope it's open again, eh? I'm going to follow the trail. Looks like it covers the power lines. So it takes out a section through the hills, and I end up with a very direct run through. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I'll get the map out if I need to. So I'm heading in the right direction. Okay, so here's the situation. A few hills back, I came to a diversion. They'd closed the section of the Munda Biddi for prescribed burns last year. The signs are still up, and there's a keep out sign that's been knocked over and some tyre tracks going in there. But that aside, the sign's clearly pointed down this way. So I've been following it for a while, and it would have made a shorter trip through that section of the trail. But of course, I would have missed out on wherever it ran through this bush here. Anyway, I get to this point here, and it's clearly signed. It's the Munda Biddi that way and that way. Now, I've passed the Harvey Quindenning turn, so I'm good there. But I come to this section. Let me just change this. These are the signs. So I've turned in for this piece of trail. I come down here, and it's blocked off, and I can see a catchment sign just on the other side. Now, there's tyre tracks on the trail there as well, and they sort of come off the trail, and I guess they lead through this section. But then we end up with all this freshly dug up ground and logs across the trail itself, likely areas you'd get through. And there's a sign talking about the catchment area here. And just beyond, there we have the Munda Biddi trail signs. So, just get through. Let's have a look at this catchment sign. If we can. Okay, drinking water, etc, etc. So, this is where the Munda Biddi would have taken me. The dilemma, I think, is that the areas that have been blocked are so fresh, and it might just be for cars. There may have been cars coming through. I don't know. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to call this my turn point and head back. And as I'm sitting here having my lunch, a fella from Watercorp turns up, and he was checking to make sure that nobody had moved the logs to stop the cars from getting in. So I asked him about the trail. He said, no, you're fine riding your bike out here. So what I do know is that on my next ride, this becomes my turn point from the other side. Happy days, and I'm still heading back now. On some of these steep gradients, there's quite a bit of washout on one side. There's a lot of leaves on the floor, so it can be a bit hard to sort of spot the hazard, I guess. When in doubt, stay out of the washouts. The light magnets, feel like you're going to get sucked into them. And this is the end of today's journey. Okay, 2 days of riding, so let's have a look at how the bike fared. There were a couple of issues with mounts and a little bit of damage, so we'll see how we go. This is the Insta360 mount, and it seemed to be okay, held together quite well, and it's got this vibration damper on the top. But when it's stacked with the camera, it's quite high, so there was a lot of movement to and fro on that. This is the GoPro on a mount that I had to fit yesterday. The other mount that I had, part of it's given way, and it had that long sort of carbon fibre selfie arm on it, and I think the vibrations on the corrugations in particular were a bit too much. This one's been really robust, it's nice and solid. This is the GoPro, which as you can see has got a few dents and chips around the edges today, and that was a result of having a little accident, nothing too serious. Okay, on the back here, this is the bike mount, the bottle mount for my bike. So I've got 2 bottles there, and when they're full, there's a bit of weight in them, I suppose. But what I noticed yesterday is that one of the screws had actually pulled free, and you can see a bit of movement in there now. So I had to take a spare that I had elsewhere and tighten them up again. I think bouncing around on the trail with a couple of full bottles off the back, that's quite a bit of work for the brackets themselves. So they were struggling a little bit. The bike itself behaved beautifully. Now, this is the last thing I wanted to show you. This is a 3D printed phone carrier. It looks like a grocery basket or something, doesn't it? It's quite big, and it's a double decker. Underneath I keep a little power block, and I mount the phone on the top, and 3D printed nuts and bolts with a back opening mount for it. As you can see again, it's take a little bit of machine off, but it's actually performed really well. The front mounts themselves, or the 3 mounts, I took electrical grommets and actually embedded them in the mount itself to give it a little bit of flexibility and move there. So I didn't get a lot of vibration out of it, which was really what I was trying to achieve. And it held together really well. The only other thing that happened was that one of my bolts sheared when I upended the bike this morning. So, okay, on the one side, it's it's not as strong as steel or something like that. But the other aspect to that is that when I get home, I'll just print another one of those in about 20 minutes, and that would be great. So, look, really happy with this. It's PLA plastic, which is not ideal for the outdoors, I believe. PLA plus. But we'll see how long this holds together, and so far, so good. Two more great rides done on the Munda Biddi Trail, from Lake Brockman here towards Kinjarra and then down towards the Harvey-Quindani Road. Next time round, I'm moving a little further south with a couple more rides, and I'm really looking forward to that. In the meantime, exercise often, be curious, and enjoy life. See ya.